So yeah, I was saying when you were here the other day when you first came to Melbourne, the chat we had was like super deep, super fun, and it's I don't know what it is. It's like, especially with comedians, it's super rare to have chats like this. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think comedians are not honest about their failures. That's why. You know what I mean? So like when someone actually turns around and is like, oh fuck, I really died, or I had a really bad year at Edinburgh, or a festival show, or got no numbers. It is nice because it makes you feel human, innit?
100%. No, you were talking about how like there was that time when you were doing the Edinburgh Festival, that run. Yeah. And it was like one of the darkest times for you.
It was the worst. It was the absolute worst because it was off the back of having a really good year. And then I went on a tour. It was the first time I come to Australia, so I didn't put as much effort into my next show. And yeah, it was so bad. Like it was just really badly written. I started losing confidence and shit, and like the numbers were terrible. And yeah, towards the end, I would finish the show. I would wrap it up and be like, "Oh, my name's Sarah Callaghan. Thank you so much. Good night." And I wouldn't even get a clap.
That's so wild.
Brutal.
And then what? Like you said one time, there was like dark, and the audience or whoever was there couldn't see you, and then you were just like bawling your eyes.
Yeah, I know. As soon as so I said my last line. It was like a callback, and I said the last line, and then it was like blackout, and then just like a single tear just dropped. It was so tragic, you know. I was thinking if someone was filming this, it'd be a great like film, but no.
100%. It's like a dark short film right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And like you said, you when that happened, you're almost like kind of considering like fucking just quitting comedy at this point.
Oh yeah, but I feel like quitting every day. Like I've got such a love-hate relationship with it, innit? But it's always like the good gigs that keep you there. I describe my comedy journey as being in an abusive relationship. It's like punching you in the face, right? And you're like, fuck this, I'm leaving. I deserve better. And then it's like they come to you and they're like, I'm so sorry, baby. Here's some flowers. I'll never do it again. I love you. And it's like a week of real nice vibes. And then he slaps you again and you're like, man. And it's just like over and over again. I'm like, fucking hell, I can't leave, you know?
Yeah, it's so abusive and toxic.
Yeah.
Completely toxic, but it's attractive still.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like,
the sex is fire, you know what I mean? One of them ones, it's like, I'm stuck in the dick sand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the love-hate, 100%.
Yeah.
When you first started doing comedy, did you know, or did you even expect it to go the way it did in terms of like, you know, all the dark times with it that came with it?
Oh, not at all, man. No, I had no idea about comedy or the industry or anything. And I was 18 when I started, so...
AE? Oh, 18.
AE?
AE? I was like, what kind of accent is this, man? I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Don't talk to me about accents, man. You fucking Drake wannabe.
AE? Drake wannabe. Okay.
My youth.
That's how you're moving? You know what's funny? You're the only person I know in this world that I could do this with. That's not from Toronto.
Really?
That understands what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But it's because the rest of the comedians in this industry are fucking goons. That's why.
Yeah, they're nerds.
Yeah, they're absolute nerds.
But we're just a couple of good youths, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, because we were talking about the UK Toronto debate.
Yeah.
You think the Toronto slang comes from UK slang?
Definitely.
How
you agree with me? That's a fact. Yes, thank you.
I don't know. There's some stuff that we come up with too.
Yeah, but it's not global, man.
Why do you think UK is the?
Because I think like obviously predominantly it's all like Jamaicans and all that sort of stuff. It all comes from that, but obviously there's a big Jamaican population in London. But obviously in terms of our music, grime, rap, and then like TV shows like Top Boy and all that sort of shit, it's so global. So, and people think it's cool and that. So I think from other countries, they start speaking like us and then trying to play it off as their own, innit? I'm sure you do have your own slang, but I think we've got the best slang there.
I honestly love it. It is my favorite. I am low-key jealous that you guys use in it.
Yeah.
Toronto, like Canadians don't do that. But in London, it's like, yo, in it, yeah. It's pretty mud, isn't it? Like, it's like it just flows, rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we have some fucking dumb shit though in Toronto. What's
like your most popular slang word then?
Oh, there's definitely a few, but like obviously fam is like the most common, right? Yo fam, fam, I'm telling you fam. It's like all this dumb shit, or like when we say like I think you guys use it too, but when you say there's a lot of something, yo, this bear, this bear shit, yo, bear. But
bear
a lot of
people at this party, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bear people at the telly, fam. You know, telly. Do you use telly?
Telly
as a hotel?
Nah, we don't use that. That's a good one though.
And then telly ting is like a hotel ting, so it's like a prosty, like
oh my god. Okay.
Like a night shift worker. You know,
it reminds me of Teletubbies. Do you know the
Teletubbies?
Teletubbies?
Oh yeah.
It's like a kids TV show.
Yo, fam, I'm not gonna lie. When I was a youth, I was a telly youth.
Yeah. Teletubbies, and now I got a telly ting.
Okay. That's so stupid.
I know.
But yeah, that's pretty much like the main ones. I think like bear, you know, fucking fam, and ting. You know, you. What about you? What's like the?
Yeah, I would say like bear in it, safe.
I like that one.
Yeah, bait, allow it.
Bait.
But do you know what's so mad? Like for me, I didn't really like grow up on the streets and that. You know what I mean? So I do know a lot of like people like that, but we would say it like ironically.
Exactly.
But because you say it so much ironically, you end up just like saying it all the time.
I know.
But I've even had conversations with my mum where I'm just like, oh, I did this gig last night, there's bare people there. And then being like, you know what I mean? And she's like, what are you talking about? The one that I use a lot all the time, and I find it hard to explain, innit? But it's the best word ever. And every time I get with a geezer or get a new friend, within like 6 months, they're talking like me. And they always say, I can't not use this word now. I always say long. You know long?
Long? No.
Yeah, so like long's a great word, yeah, because it can mean anything. So like you're being long, like if you're like, I'm 10 minutes away, I'm like, long man. Or if you say to me, you're long man, or if you're like, oh Sarah, and pass me my water, I'm like, long bro. So it's like you're being long, like if we're arguing and I'm like, you're being long now, you know what I mean? It can mean like you're being annoying, you're putting me, it can literally mean anything. Yeah, a duration of time, like, yeah, man. It's like, you could even come off stage and be like, nah, fucking hell, man, that crowd was shit, it's long, bro.
It's so dumb, I love it.
I know,
it sounds so passive aggressive.
Yeah. But my mum even says it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My geezer says it, everyone says it. It's great, mate.
I also love when you say my geezer, like it's such a fucking British word. Like, yeah, my fucking geezer, yeah? It's just adorable. It's like, you know, it's so fun, you know?
Yeah.
Long's a good one. Yeah, I want to start using that. But you're so right about, you know, I didn't grow up in the streets either. Like fucking me neither. Like, but we would use it ironically as well.
Yeah.
Because I used to work with people from the hood.
Yeah.
Or like they're just like from like really pockets of places that use that slang.
Yeah.
You just pick it up ironically. At some point now I'm actually like, yo, fam, like, yo, what's good? Yo, what are you saying? Like, I never fucking grew up like that. We didn't talk like that. Yeah. But it's just like I'm a suburb kid with the fucking, you know, the city youths, you know.
Yeah.
Just fucking, you know, say less, you know. But it's so fun, you know. It's so fun, and I feel like I love being from Toronto and UK too because it's so much culture.
Yeah,
you know? I think culturally it's like some of the best shit, especially for comedians, right? Because you have so many references, I'm sure. You know,
definitely.
Different cultures, right?
Yeah. It's good to be able to pull up on different cultures and that. But you do it a lot in your stand up, innit? I've been watching you the last week, talking about different places and, you know.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, the thing is, like, for me, I also work on material now based off of like how my content is going as well.
Yeah.
Because then eventually, when I go to live shows, I want the people who follow me to come, and they're gonna expect to see certain things I do online. So it's like very on brand. So it's like, well, my stand up has to be kind of that way too. Yeah. But it's a little different because it's like I'm not just gonna go up there and just do an impression. Like it has to like mold into like an idea or like a bit or like a story. And so that's been like I guess a challenge, but like a good challenge of like molding the two together. Because I feel like nowadays with content too, it's like you have to adapt with live shows because that's why people are coming to see you live. Like most people now because of online. Yeah. Not the other way around. Whereas before, you know, social media didn't exist. People are like, oh, let's go to a comedy show. They know they're going for just like a stand-up show. Yeah. Not really for like this guy I see online. So in terms of that stuff, yeah, like it's like I use my strengths to fucking do that shit on stage. And it's like, you know, obviously it's not for everyone. You're not going to please everyone. But at the end of the day, it's like you got to do what you enjoy and what's like funny to you, and then that's how it goes off, right? But
ultimately, if you find it funny and you're enjoying it, like hopefully that will translate, innit?
Well, that's the thing too.
Like, so you see a lot of people trying to crowbar that shit in, Be like, oh yeah, so I was talking to a French guy the other day, and it's like, what are you?
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean?
You were not talking to a French guy.
Yeah. So it's like, I tried to, because my grandma's Jamaican, right?
Your grandma's Jamaican?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yes.
How do we just skip over this? We're talking about fucking Jamaicans and patois, and she's not once mentioned.
Yeah.
She's a Jamaican grandma?
Yeah, and so I tried to talk about it on stage one time, like make it like jokes and stuff. But obviously, I'm so white, I identify as white. And it's like, it was really hard for the audience to believe me or even like give me the allow me to do those jokes. They almost like found allow me, man. They almost found it like offensive. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh fuck it, this isn't going to work. But I just felt like it was an interesting angle because you know she spent a lot of time in Jamaica and that, and I thought, oh, this is because a lot of people wouldn't expect it of me. You know what I mean? But it didn't work. And I know a guy who's like literally looks exactly like me, and his dad is Indian, like full Indian, mum's white, and he did the same. He tries to do the same. He tries to talk about, you know, having an Indian dad, and like, yeah, they just weren't having it. I'm like, fuck, man. If only I was a couple shades darker.
Well, there are white Jamaicans.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But the rest of the world doesn't know that.
Exactly, yeah.
These motherfuckers are uncultured, that's why.
But you have people that like get offended on people's behalf, innit?
Oh, I hate that.
It's like that time, you know, you did that gig when I first came here, and it's like it was like Nigerian or Sudanese or something, and you were like, he's laughing, innit? Like, it's all right for you to laugh because he's laughing. It's like almost like everyone needs to like figure out see that they're okay with it, and then it's like, and they chill, and then they can relax. But
even here, though, they still don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been calling it out at this point. Like, not even in an aggressive way, more so just like out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Like, this one time, like you said, the Sudanese and like Ghanaian guys in the front.
Yeah.
Like, they were loving it, right? Because I was like imitating an African, whatever. And like, but then like everyone else just.
I know.
Right? And then I'm like, guys, look at them.
Yeah,
they're enjoying, right?
We can laugh.
There's enough. But then even then still they're like, fuck, like I don't know what happens if I do laugh. And then what, if he says it's okay, but what if I'm not okay? And I don't, they're just like always in their head constantly. I think it's more of an Australian thing though.
Really?
Because like I don't notice that back home really as much in Canada or US for fact.
Yeah.
For fact. But that's the thing that I don't know what it is. I think Australia specifically because we're both here. I feel like it's gotten like too woke to the point where they're like why are you getting offended for this Indian guy where he's enjoying it? It's like they don't fight, they don't care. So why do you care? I want to know the psychology behind that because I just don't understand it, you know. But I mean, in terms of the Jamaican stuff, actually too, I feel like if you actually did it and you're educating them on whatever your background is and your grandma. At the end of the day, it's still your experience. So, like, I don't think you should even feel bad about it or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if they don't get it, it's like, it's still your story. So why would you, you know, almost censor yourself?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I might try and bring it back in. I don't know. But, you know, the audiences always try and just get offended. They even, like you said, it is your own lived experience. I used to talk a lot about mental health on stage and, you know, times when I've, you know, considered suicide and things like that. And I remember one time this woman shouted out, she's like, you can't talk about that. You can't. I'm like, I fucking can talk about it. She's like, oh, my ex-husband killed himself. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But at the end of the day, this is my lived experience. I've got the microphone and I'm going to fucking talk about it. And luckily that night, because I just went sick on her, because it was in a really like poignant bit of because I do this like poignant bit and then it was like big punchline callback and she just like fucked up the flow of the whole bit. And I'm like, but luckily the audience were on my side, so I just went sick on her and I'm like, this is my time, this is my fucking story and I've got the microphone, so shut the fuck up. And the whole audience were like, way, you know what I mean?
Shit. Clapping,
cheering for me, just telling her to shush. And yeah, so people get like that. They get very entitled, you know what I mean? And I'm like, just because I'm talking about my experience doesn't take anything away from your experience, you know? And I'm not mocking suicide. You know, I'm talking about my experience and trying to like shine a light on mine, you know, and out of a lot of like real bad situations in life, humor is the best way to get through it, you know? So I'm just like, if you're so sensitive to issues like that, don't come to a fucking comedy gig, eh? Simple as that.
It's long.
It's long, mate. No, she is the definition of long. She's a fucking bitch.
No, 100%. I agree. And are there specific topics that you touch that you find most commonly people maybe get uncomfortable about or like they have pushback against?
It was really only that. Yeah, it was kind of that. The black thing definitely. And yeah, that's probably it. I'm doing some jokes at the minute about being in an age gap relationship, and I was nervous to do that
Why?
Because a lot of people get quite offended about being asked their age and that. But because I make it like a good thing and I'm like bigging them up, I'm actually like not taking the piss out of old people. I'm saying older guys are great. You know what I mean? So I always find it starts off like they get a bit like prickly, yeah.
Prickly.
But then towards the end, like they're loving it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's about tone. It's about delivering it in a cheeky way, like still having that glint in your eye and not being too harsh. And then you can get away with it. Yeah, and just like timing of the set. There's certain bits that I wouldn't open with. I'm like, fuck, they're going to hate me. Whereas it's like, get them to like you first, and then you can pretty much say anything, innit?
I agree with that, yeah. I think there is a science behind the flow of a set.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. They need to trust you. They need to like you and believe what you're saying, innit? And find you authentic in that. And then you can pretty much get away with most things, I think.
Yeah, most, yeah.
That's what I see a lot of comedians when they go like into the dark shit straight away. I'm like, mate, what are you doing? Brother! Yeah.
You're mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. What would you say is like the proper science in your experience from like what has worked in terms of flow? Like starting, middle, and you know, like in terms of, you're talking about not starting with dark stuff, but easing them in. Yeah,
like I'd say keeping it light, doing some jokes about yourself, like showing a little bit of vulnerability from the get-go. Because even in conversation, people, it's like a psychology thing. People like feel a lot more comfortable with you once you've shared a little bit of vulnerability about yourself. So I would say do that, then go into some other shit, make it about them, do a little bit about them. And then if you want to do like a darker bit or like a more sensitive bit, do that. And then just always end on like a callback or a big punchline. So then it's like, oh yeah, she started off funny and ended funny. Whatever happens in the middle is sort of like irrelevant in a way. Blur. Yeah. That's how I do it anyway, but I mean, I'm dog shit. So don't take my advice. Don't take my advice.
Nah, you're fucking funny. Yeah, I remember when I first saw you, we were in Perth and you had the sheets.
Oh yeah, the new material. Yeah.
I literally walk inside and like, because typically like in a show like that, like you never really see that.
Not here, nah. In the UK, everyone does.
It's common.
Yeah,
like
man.
They go on stage in front of a packed room.
Yeah, with, like, with pieces of paper or their phone or notes,
really?
Or a notepad. Yeah.
On like a new material night or just
new material.
Oh, new material. That's different.
Obviously you wouldn't do it in a club.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like on like yeah, you wouldn't do that at like a fucking weekend show or whatever, right? No. Yeah, exactly. But no, it was funny. I walked inside and it was the first time obviously I saw you or knew of you. I walked in and then I just see you. You got like 3 sheets of paper and you're like, all right, man, fuck. Yeah, you guys didn't like that one. All right. And I was like, and then you actually crushed with a couple of them. I was like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. Like I've never seen someone with like full sheets of paper.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a small notepad or like the phone.
Yeah, I'm a dickhead because I have to write things out like proper, like word for word.
And you type it.
Yeah,
That's
type
funny.
it. Yeah.
No, that's cool. Anyway.
So you never go up on stage with notes and that? It's all just in here?
Well, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I write my set list down.
Yeah.
More important shows, I guess, or whatever. I guess like new material stuff like that too. But I'll always just put it on a stool. I don't like holding it in my hand.
Yeah, look,
I never do.
Ideally, that would be the way to do it. But there was no stool there that night, innit? So I was like, oh fuck it, and I'd been there before.
Yeah, that's fucking long. I'm not gonna lie, fam.
Long road.
No, but yeah. Typically, because I feel like it distracts from the audience.
Oh
you're
yeah,
looking
definitely.
too much.
Yeah.
So that's hey, how's it going, sir? See, he's got these fucking treacherous workers, innit? They better not start banging right now. Yeah. But anyway, in terms of you're talking about your Jamaican grandma.
Yep.
How does that happen? Like, what's the link there?
What's the link?
Like, is your mom or dad?
It's my mum's side. So
she's half? Your mom?
Yeah. So my grandma, she was born here and then she went back to Jamaica and was there until she was about 18. Then she came back and then she met my granddad. My granddad's white. And then, they had kids and then moved to West London and then that was it. And my dad's Irish. And yeah.
Your dad's Irish?
Yeah.
From where?
Cork.
Is that like the capital, right? Or no, Dublin?
I think Dublin is, yeah. I've never actually been to, I've been to Jamaica more than Ireland. I've never been to Ireland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really want to go. But I think Dublin is. I'm not sure.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Cork is like one of the main cities.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. And so would you say like you identified more with the Jamaican side than the Irish side then? Or?
I would say so in terms of like the banter, the family vibes, the food. Yeah, I didn't really know my dad's side too much, you know what I mean? And I never met his dad either, so yeah, I want to explore it a bit more.
Right, yeah, because you give me more urban kind of like that kind of island vibes, you know?
Island girl.
Island girl. You look good, girl. Just with your swagger, the music you're into, you know, all that stuff too. You were talking about. I just get that kind of vibe, you know. It's like same thing in Toronto, right? Like, 'cause we're also influenced by Jamaicans, right? We got fucking white guys in the suburbs saying, "Yo, wagwan, my G." You know, it's like, why are you talking like you're from fucking? You play hockey. You're
from, exactly.
Like, relax, you know. But
I've had it. It's weird. Like I've never tried to like push it, and I don't tell people. I don't tell people it a lot. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm just trying to be authentically myself. But I went on a big protest. I was part of this organisation called the Black Music Movement. So when all like the Black Lives Matter thing happened, we were an organisation that went around to all the we organised all the protests in Bristol, Manchester, Birmingham, London, Liverpool, and went around for weeks and weeks. Doing these protests, right? And we were raising money for young kids to come in and have music lessons and learn how to produce music and DJ and shit like that. It was a real amazing experience, right? So I'm in a coach with like 20 black people and never told them that like my grandma's Jamaican or nothing. I was just like completely just who I was. And it's mad because towards the end, like, because we all like really bonded on this trip, you know what I mean? They were just like, you're black. You are black, you know what I mean? Like they see it, because when I told them, they were like, it makes sense, innit? And they completely like welcomed me in. It was really weird. I never had that experience before, innit? Because I don't try and like act black or you know, try and change my voice in any way or do anything. It's like I just try and be me, innit? But that was really mad.
Nice.
That they were just like, we see you as one of us, innit? Even though you're completely white, you know?
That's the best feeling, I think.
Oh, it's pretty sick, innit?
You feel nice.
I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, okay, so does that mean like I can say some patois now? Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah, but just acceptance from any group or any sort of people is really nice, you know, because I've never had a sort of sense of community like that, you know.
Oh, yeah?
So, it was good.
Would you say you feel more included in black communities like that then?
Oh, I definitely feel comfortable, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, white people is always like, you never know what sort of white person you're going to get. You know what I mean? Is they going to be autistic? Are they going to be a fucking nerd? Like, you know what I mean? Or like super, super smart, well-educated. You know what I mean? A lot of that, you don't really like bond over the same music and shit. Yeah. But with them, it's just like, food's always going to be cool. Music is a good topic of conversation. 100%. You're into festivals. You always dress good. We can talk about trainers. I love trainers. Like, just shit like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
What got you into like this, the music influence that you have now? Like, how do you think that started?
Oh, well, I grew up listening to a lot of, like, Motown. Like, my mum was always listening to that sort of music. So it's always black music. But then as I got older, then I was getting more into, like, Afro beats and reggae and shit like that and going to festivals and stuff. So that was cool. Yeah, it was, like... Vibes
Cartel?
Yeah.
Free up vibes.
You like that stuff? You into that?
I mean... It's not. I don't hate it. It's just not my preference. I don't typically listen to it, but because back home, a couple of my friends are like into that music, and one of them, you know, was a Guyanese guy I always grew up with in high school, and like every fucking day blasting in the car coming into the high school parking lot, just like big body girl, big body shot. Big body girl, big body shot. Pussy in up, pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like constantly fucking vibes, popcorn, Movado.
I think you're in the wrong job, man.
Real bad man, I'm in a shot. Straight jeans. You know, just fucking daggering, you know?
Oh, my days.
That's why I grew up on, you know what I'm saying? It's funny. Yeah. And it's funny because, like, that's the thing, though. That's the diversity, right? It's like, in the same breath, I'm listening to country music from this white guy, but then he's blasting, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I feel like it's so valuable as a comedian having these, because it's like, I feel like no human in the world relates more to other people. Yeah. Right? Like other people's cultures. And that's why I feel like that shit kind of works. More on like a worldwide basis. But
yeah.
And that's why you listening to all that music, it's like it automatically kind of, it's like a cheat code for your comedy too, right? Or poetry, like you're talking about.
Yeah. Definitely help with the poetry, with the flow and just the emotion.
Rhythm,
you know what I mean? Yeah, the rhythm and getting that emotion across in it, because it is so full of different emotions, like you know.
And in terms of poetry, then like when you're doing poetry, because I don't know anything about poetry, but like, is there a specific way you have to do it, or is it just like however you feel, kind of like comedy, where you just like you have to go with whatever you think is funny, but whatever you think is poetic, or I don't know, you know?
Yeah, it's just you find your voice. It's the exact same with comedy. Like you find your voice and how you're going to speak, and there's a flow with comedy. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, someone was asking me the other day actually, because they were like, "Oh, I want to try poetry and I don't know how to say it," and I'm like, "Well, you'll figure it out. Like, just keep gigging and you'll get that flow." Like, I didn't know what I was doing, especially coming from a stand-up background. When I first started doing poetry, I was just like reading it off my phone, and it was real awkward and clunky. But when you actually learn it and you perform it, that's when the flow comes.
Yeah,
and you know when to do the pauses and when to go faster or slower or louder, or you know. It just it just takes practice.
Yeah, it's like delivery and timing and all that shit. That's why I feel like music helps a lot too. If you're musically gifted, like I think comedy is like music, right? With the delivery and the timing, it's like it's like rhythm, it's beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the flow, it's the fucking crescendo, and then hitting in with the beat, with the bass trap and shit like that. I think that helps a lot because I used to drum.
All right.
Yeah, I was a drummer.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So I feel like, in a way, I naturally have that delivery because of that reason. Yeah, you're always on point. You're always on tempo. I don't know. That's why I feel like I think that's why a lot of people they have different styles in comedy too. Like it's interesting how there are some comedians who their jokes are great, but their delivery is ass.
Yes.
But then vice versa. Like for me, I think my delivery is good, but my jokes are like whatever. It's like but I'm working on it. But it's like.
I'd rather have it that way around though.
Yeah, because like, I think you can improve on the writing part.
Oh yeah,
much easier.
You can't make someone have charisma. You can't teach someone to be likable and you know what I mean, and to be confident and nah, man. Like you've either got it or you ain't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you can always become a better writer. You can always change your material. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot, and I'm thinking, fuck. I wish you could just write all my jokes and I'll perform them. You know what I mean? Because you're dog shit. You need to just sit down and be behind the camera. You know?
Yeah. No, so much better that way.
Yeah.
What was your like writing process? Like, do you go on stage with like premises and then you do them, or you have to have it fully written? Or
I have to have it fully written. Yeah. It like I very rarely like work things out on stage. The only time I would do that is if I've got like a bit, and then I'll like say if I have like a tag or an add-on, or if there's a bit of like audience interaction, then I'll remember that, do that next time, and then add it. But the main bit will always be done. You know what I mean? I know some comics go on and just sort of
riff.
Spitball and see what happens. You know what I mean? But I would shit myself because I'm very confident on stage. There's no and ahhing, and it's like back. So if I'm figuring something out and I'm going it really fucks the flow. And I feel like it ruins the illusion of how confident I am. Because I am nervous. I'm always nervous. I've been doing comedy 14 years and I'm always nervous when I go on stage, but they ain't going to fucking know about it. You know, when I'm on stage performing in front of them, I want them to think she's owning this, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why open mics, new material, that's the time where I've got my little sheet and I'm all like, because I'm like, well, fuck with these, like, it doesn't matter. You know, once I'm in the club, it's going to be gold, you know?
Right. I'm exactly the same way. It's crazy. I get nervous all the time too still.
Yeah.
But like it's not bad nerves, it's good nerves.
Yeah, it's just that tingly, yeah.
You know?
It never leaves you, man. But I've spoken, you know Jim Owen?
No.
So he's like a big comedian here. He's actually Irish, but he got really famous here, and yeah, he's huge. He always sells out big rooms and done lots of TV, huge in Edinburgh. And I remember the first time I toured here, we did some gigs together, and I remember saying, "Oh, I'm so nervous, I feel like a prick," and he's like, "I still get nervous." And he's been going like 20 years and he's sick. And it just made me think, oh wow, like if you can still get nervous, then it's fine, you know, it doesn't matter. And he was saying it's good to feel nervous because it means you still care. If you didn't feel nervous or some sort of excitement or some little tingly feeling before you go on stage, that's a problem.
Problematic.
You know?
Yeah, not a great feeling.
Yeah, you need to feel that buzz to get you going, innit? So now I just try and embrace it, innit? I don't push it back.
Right. What's your favorite type of audience to perform in front of, and also what's your least favorite?
Do you know what? It's mad because I'm 32, yeah, and I look young. I've got quite a young face.
Yeah,
so
you don't look 32.
Nah.
Yeah.
And people would assume like young kids, like they used to start sending me to like universities, doing like university gigs and all this sort of stuff, and they hate me, man. Kids hate me. Because all they want to hear jokes about is like fucking chlamydia and cocaine, and like I don't have those jokes in it. And so my best audiences, I would say, like couples between 30 to 50 years old, older couples.
You're old soul, that's why.
Yeah, and yeah, they seem to like me a lot more. But yeah, young, when I go out into an audience and it's all like young people, like early 20s, teenagers, yeah, I don't think they're gonna like me, man. Because I got like material about wanting like kids and have you got any kids and like all the sort of like questions. It's like they're not going through that. It's not the stuff I'm talking about is not relatable to them, right. Even though I look like them. Yeah, so I'll never do well in front of young people.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
And that's why I'm shit on social media, man. Because it's the young people on TikTok and shit and like watching the videos and scrolling a majority of the time. And yeah, they're not looking at my stuff. They don't want to hear poetry. They don't want to hear jokes about sucking old men's dicks and shit. You know what I mean?
Some do.
Yeah. But like the lesbians love me, innit?
Yeah.
But what do they call it? I can't queer bait. I don't want to be.
Bait.
Yeah, I don't want to be a queer baiter.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wait, why? Why do they like you?
Because they think I'm a lesbian, innit?
Oh, because like the way you dress or something?
Yeah, and just, I don't know, I guess my aura and shit. And I talk about it on stage.
True.
But even after I come off stage, I'll talk about it for like 20 minutes. And they'll be like, but are you gay though? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Like,
but buy tickets to my show, innit? Yeah. If you buy tickets to my show, maybe I will be. You know what I mean?
Okay, if you insist, I will be gay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What would you say is your favorite place that you've performed in before?
Ooh, I do like Australia, you know. Like, I've always had love here. The audiences have always been good to me, man. Sydney's great. I love
Sydney's good.
The Comedy Store in Sydney is just always electric. I've always had a great time there, and every time I go there, it just gets better and better. I mean, probably because my jokes are getting better, but it's just such a great room. It's just always shit hot. So I really like that. Where else? Yeah, and there's a few clubs in London which are like favourite ones of mine. There's a place called Comedia in Brighton, which is Comedia, yeah, with a K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's in Brighton.
In Brighton.
Where's
yeah.
Brighton?
Brighton is like towards like Gatwick Airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like in London.
It's not really. It's not London.
Oh,
it's not London. Yeah, it's like 2 hours, hour 40 from London. But that club is wicked. And it took me ages to get into. I don't know how it works in Canada, but like you do like tryout spots. Yeah,
same shit.
Like unpaid, and then you smash that, and then
still unpaid. Yeah.
And then, but like I literally, I used to drive up to Brighton for no money, do like my unpaid 10, come back. I did it like 8 times, and I was like, fuck, I'm never gonna get into this club, man. And then once I got in, it's just been great. You know, you do like full weekend, 20 minutes, and yeah, it's just been so good. That was like a big achievement for me.
And you actually get paid there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like they put you in a hotel and they give you food and drinks
really?
and
Okay.
shit. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
the hotel vibes?
Yeah.
What, did they pay?
Yeah. Was it a telly ting?
Telly ting, yeah? You don't know, my G. Beer telly tings, fam. And is it paid for all the spots, or is it just middle and headliner?
Not all of them, yeah.
Like, because I don't know if it's different in the UK, but in Canada at least, we have like host, one middle act, and then just headliner.
Oh,
do you
right,
have,
yeah.
Do you have a different format?
So in the UK, it usually works with host, opener, middle, headliner, but everyone does 20 minutes. And
what?
Yeah, and everyone...
Even the headliner?
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe might do like 20, 25, but yeah, everyone does. And then sometimes, so you always have three 20s and a host, or if someone's doing a tryout, there'll just be someone doing an unpaid 10 in between.
Oh, like a guest spot.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah, because in Canada, it's like host goes up, does like 20, and then brings up the opener. He does like 15. And then host comes back up, does 5, and then the headliner does 45.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, and we were talking about how, like, you know, people check out after 15-minute marks.
Yeah. It's nuts. And so they do that there, 45 headline, which is unheard of in the UK. But then here, you're getting booked, like professional comedians are getting booked to do like 7 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm like, fucking hell.
7 minutes?
Yeah, even in most clubs, it's like 7 minutes, 10 minutes. You're like, what the fuck?
You're saying it's too little?
Yeah, way too little, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like 7 minutes. Like that's my weekend, doing 7 minutes. But then you're getting paid in a normal club. Comedy stores like that.
In Sydney?
Yeah.
You get
everyone does 7 minutes.
The whole show?
Yeah.
On the weekend?
Yes.
There's no headliner that does like 20
or
something?
headliner would do 10 to 15.
What?
Crazy. Yeah. It's all
What?
that's
so
what in
weird.
Australia it's all short spots. But do you know what's good? I think in a way is it forces you to write like short
Tighter.
jokes and to get to the punchline quicker.
cut the fat.
No waffle, which is
Waffle.
good. But for me, I'm like a storyteller, innit? So 7 minutes, it's like
One
3 jokes,
Right.
one joke, like.
I mean,
So it's annoying, innit? I can't wait to go back to UK and actually do 20 minutes again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just work on that.
you would thrive in Canada then, because if you did like a headline spot, you're doing 45. Like you're laughing. Like
Yeah, that's
you would love
sick.
that. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause you do
yeah.
the longer bits you're talking about.
Yeah, man, that'd be bad.
Have you been to Canada?
Never. No, I really
Oh.
want to go.
Yeah, if you go, like you can fucking crush over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dream was to do Just for Laughs, but it doesn't even
fuck.
fucking exist no
Yo,
more, man.
Just for Laughs is cancelled,
I
bro.
know. It's
Down the
shit.
drain, bro.
I know. It's mad, isn't it, how goals change? Like when I first came into comedy, I was like, that's the one. Go to Australia Just for Laughs, do this, and then things get exposed.
Now no one gives a fuck, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because we were talking about like TV too, being obsolete.
Yeah, it's dead.
Same shit, it's dead.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean the same as it did 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, yeah. And unfortunately, it's a little bit more pressure, I think, because it's like now it's in your own hands. But at least it's up to you now.
Yeah.
To put your shit out if you really want to.
Yeah,
do
you
that.
don't have to compromise who you are.
No.
You can do exactly what you want to do, innit?
Yeah, and
Like I had so many times in the past where I'd have meetings with producers and stuff, and they always try and change you, man. They always try and change you, or say this, or do this, or can you act a bit more like this? Like I used to do like TV shows, and like they'd say, oh, can you like try and act dumb, like try and act like you're stupid? And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do, because they put me on a show to be like the novelty. Oh yeah, she's from London, she's like some working class little fucking street urchin. And I'm like, I've got more depth than that. Like I want to show all the different sides of me. You know what I mean? That's why after the pandemic, I was like, fuck it, I'm doing poetry, innit? I'm gonna do what I want to do, innit? And actually, it worked good for me because you don't see it coming. That's the contrast of someone who speaks like me and acts like me. Suddenly, halfway through a set, doing some like serious poem, people are like, fuck you now, you know? Same as someone plays an instrument. It's impressive when someone can do something else and switch it up, start doing accents, do a little sketch, play an instrument. You know, it's I really think variety is coming back in. You know, and that's the sort of comedy I like watching, innit? So
yeah. So I love this shit because I agree. I'm definitely on board with that shit. And I think it adds more flavor, adds a little more like just it adds a little more flash in the show. You know, it makes it more of a performance. You know what I'm saying? And because like we were talking about the other day about like imagine a monotone comedian that just does one-liners.
It's boring.
For 45 minutes straight. Like okay, man. Like after 15, 20 minutes. Like we know what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to get on board with that. But imagine that person now. One thing I just thought of is do you know Neil Brennan?
No.
He's a comedian from the U.S. He was a writer on Chappelle's show for years. Like he was with Dave Chappelle and all that stuff. He had a special I watched a few years ago, which was amazing. It was very innovative, kind of like this, where he had 3 mics set up on the stage, and he would literally start on the first one. The first one would be like him doing just regular like stand-up jokes, just like stories or small bits. The next one, he would go and start talking about serious shit. So it was like more of like a poetry vibe.
All right, yeah.
He was like seriously talking about like whatever about the world. And then the third mic would be just like punchy one-liners.
That's sick. That's a sick idea.
And like I think it was every 10 minutes, it would switch.
That's banging.
And then like he would do 2 rounds, so it would be a full hour. But like that splits it up,
cool.
you know? And it's like it would go dark, and then all of a sudden light comes out, and he's in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I think something like that is very interesting, and I think more people would appreciate that. You know?
Oh yeah, man, and you remember him.
100%.
Like, put it this way, like I could be on a lineup, and I haven't done it in the clubs too much here, but I could be on a lineup, yeah, and be average comedian. Other comics better than me, get more laughs than me, but I'm the person you're gonna remember at the end. You'll remember my name because I've done like a poem, or you know what I mean. Like my name's gonna be in your head. Whereas them lot, oh, I saw this guy last night. It was really funny. Oh, what was his name? Oh, I can't remember. It's you want them to remember your name. You want them to follow you on Instagram or whatever, and like actually come to your shit and keep them interested. It's like you know when you see like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, all those sort of shows, and they do like a sick first audition, and Simon Cowell will always say, "All right, that was really great. I want to know what you've got next." If there's a comic who's just doing straight stand up for an hour, next year straight stand up for an hour, next year it's like even if they're the best comedian in the world, I'm like I'm bored though, man. Personally, Like I know I'm not speaking for everyone, but I get bored. I want to see what else you got, man. You know?
Show us all your talents.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that should be a thing for comedians. But I feel like a lot of people have this traditional mindset about comedy.
Oh yeah, a lot of people would, if they were listening to this, would absolutely disagree with me.
100%. Like, you fucking knackered, man.
Yeah. You're dead to me, bro.
Bollocks, bro.
But like, yeah, they're proper. They love the art form and they think stand up should just be stand up and blah blah. And fair enough, you know what I mean. Everyone's different, but
right.
But yeah, I think comedy has evolved in a way that, you know, you can do different things and it still can be considered stand up. You know.
Well, at the end of the day, funny's funny.
Exactly. If you can make a room laugh, that's it.
That's it. If you can make a room full of people laugh, doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing at this point.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, that's comedy.
Yeah, what about clowns? You know what I mean? They'll do a show a whole hour without even speaking. They're making people laugh. They're doing stuff, you know what I mean? So it comes in all forms. Like, what would you call a clown that's being funny? Not a comedian? Or are they comedian? You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, what would you call them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not traditionally stand-up comedy, right, specifically.
But it's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show. But that's the thing. I really like the idea of like adding different elements of music and dance and singing. And that's something I like doing right now. But like, I definitely, over the years, I've felt the judgment from other comedians.
Oh, definitely, man.
Because they're like, yo, like, bro, like, they think that they're better than you in a way because or more like superior because they're doing the proper stand-up comedy art form, and I'm like, oh, this guy fucking sings, or this guy does dancing, physical moves. I'm like, well, dude, like, this is just subjectively my kind of humor.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me what stand-up comedy is? It's like, you don't know what this is. Fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to get quite like, what's the word? Like embarrassed or like nervous about what other comics would think. But I remember one time I was speaking to quite a successful comic about it and saying, oh, you know, I don't know, I'm getting disheartened doing like poetry or doing other things, or like I don't want people to take the piss or like judge me or think I'm shit. And he's like, why the fuck do you care what your peers think? Like, they're nothing to you. The only thing you should care about as a stand-up is getting booked again and keeping the promoter sweet, yeah? And are the audiences laughing? Are you having a good gig? Are they walking away having a good show and feeling happy and getting a rebooking? That's it. It doesn't who gives a shit? You know what I mean? You've got people doing the same material for 20 years. You've got people dying on their ass, this, and this. Everyone's different. They've got different style. Like, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, it's great when your peers like love you and respect you and think you're great, but really it's like, I'm not doing comedy for you or you know, it's like... And once he said that, I was like, yeah, cool. And everything changed once I just stopped giving a shit about what other people think. Yeah,
it's way more freeing and liberating.
Yeah.
Weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. Because there's, you know, and also there's comedians that I think are dog shit, but I'm not going to like make them feel bad about it or tell them. It's like, you just keep that opinion to yourself. I'm like, cool, if you don't like what I'm doing, keep it to yourself, man.
But also it doesn't matter what you think because
you're not,
if they're crushing.
You're not paying my bills.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Fucking hell.
If that person also doesn't care what you think, because it's like, if they're also crushing on stage, then why the fuck does that even matter?
Yeah, stay in your lane, bruv. You know what I mean? Yeah. Concentrate on yourself.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people comics who do, are always in your business like that. They're the ones not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And they do, because like, I think it's like a mirror of like who they are, and they're almost projecting that insecurity onto you. Because I feel like maybe a lot of people, like, at least in my experience, is like, they're jealous that they can't sing like I do, or they can't move their body like I do.
Yeah,
it's like, I got rhythm, right? It's like, but like, once you realize that everyone's worried about their own problems and they have their own shit to deal with, it makes it so much easier to not like overthink it and get anxious about it.
Yeah. And all comedians are fucking nuts anyway, so it's like...
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not taking career advice off a mentally ill person. Like, I'm all right.
Yeah. We're all mentally fucked, exactly. What would you say is like the most like toxic part about being a stand-up comedian that, like, you know, it's just it kind of just bothers you, that you wish could be better?
There's quite a lot.
Load them all up.
The most toxic thing.
And like, it could be maybe like from your own experience or just in general, how people view it.
I think certain promoters can be problematic in terms of fucking around with money, or like pulling you off of gigs and then putting you on and changing things around. And like, because we don't have a union as such, there's almost nowhere to go. There's nowhere to get help or support from. So for me, I've had to navigate my way through this industry being quite aggressive. Not aggressive not aggressive, but like strong. You know, I've had to think like a bloke and act like a bloke. And, you know, I think the older you get, I'd want to be softer and I want to be treated softer. But I just don't, it's a man's world, definitely. And things have changed, but only a little bit. And I think I'd love to see it change even more in terms of just people getting respected a bit more, and especially women. Like they used to say, like if you went on in the middle, it was like the girly spot because it was like an easy spot. And it's like, why are we still using these terms, man? Fucking hell. Like, I've seen amazing female headliners absolutely rip the roof off, and openers and MCs. And so, yeah, it'd be nice to change the conversations a bit. Money's shit. Money's fucking shit. I think we should definitely be paid more and respected more. I don't think comedians are respected, especially certain gigs where you turn up and you're not even offered a fucking drink. I think it's disgusting, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, you might only be there for like 20 minutes. But what you're paying for is the years and years and years of me traveling up and down the country, writing material, practicing, talking to the wall and like going through my material, dying on my ass, going to these gigs. Like that's, you're paying for my time. So it's like, oh, I can only offer you $150. Get fucked, innit? You know what I mean? So I think that's quite toxic. People don't really understand that. And also we're a business, you know? And the people as well, people are quite toxic, but it's a very ego-driven industry, innit? So yeah, I don't know. What do you think is the most toxic part?
No, a lot of the things you're saying, in my head, I've seen this so many times. I've heard it so many times. Like same thing. Like you were talking about the wanting to be softer. You said as your career progresses. Are you talking about like you as a woman or like as a comedian?
Both.
Because you want to be more in like a feminine energy. You're saying.
Yeah, I think so, and just like not having to fucking be all this like laddie, like right,
you know what I mean? Fucking sort of the stuff. Boys, you know.
Yeah. Because I've noticed women that are like really girly or you know a bit softer, or don't really speak up for themselves as much as they should, or a bit shy or whatever. They get treated like shit, man. Like get treated like absolute fucking shit, and I've not experienced their sexism as bad as them because I do stick up for myself. But yeah, it's if I was that sort of girl, I've heard some terrible stories. You know what I mean? People not being paid, you know, not being making sure they get home safely, things like that. You know, sexual being inappropriate, saying inappropriate stuff, and yeah, man, it's fucking it's no good. You know, what I mean?
That's the thing too. I've seen a lot of that happen as well. Or I heard a lot about that stuff happening too with women in comedy. And yeah, I agree. Like there are fucking really sick female headliners or hosts, but I actually haven't heard that the middling term that you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a UK thing, innit?
Yeah,
they
is that a common thing?
The girly spot,
The girly spot?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I fucking love the girly spot.
Oh mate, even if I was like super famous headliner, I would always request to go on in the middle.
Yeah,
who wouldn't want an easy gig?
Yeah, I know.
And be able to fuck off home afterwards. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah. No, I love that spot. Fuck that, bro. I'm a little bitch, I guess. No, I think in terms of the pay, obviously I get it. But also it's like I don't know about in UK, but in Canada, just in general, they don't give a fuck about the arts at all. They don't fund anything with the arts, music, fucking comedy, acting, nothing. Like they don't really care about that stuff. But I think because there is no union, like the comedians themselves need to fucking value themselves better.
Yeah.
Because no one fucking values themselves high enough. And I've learned that a lot in the past few years just from like doing stuff with brands online. And we realize like, oh fuck, man, there's so many comedians out there who don't know how to value themselves. Yeah. They're really like low balling their own shit. Yeah. And like you're self-sabotaging. So that's a big part of it too, is not knowing how much you deserve to be paid. Yeah. And like you said, even a lot of the guys, any comedian, like they don't speak up for themselves, including myself. Like I've been there myself too, because it's tough because you're in a people pleasing business and you want to please everyone, right? So you also don't want to speak your mind and like get rubbed off the wrong way. Yeah. Or like, you know, like someone might take something you said like the wrong way and now you're like exiled from doing these shows and now you're going to suck dick for spots. I'm like, well, of course everyone's fragile and no one's getting paid because no one knows what the fuck's going on. Everyone's insecure, anxiety ridden, mental, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wish we had fucking therapists, you know what I'm saying? I wish we had life coaches in comedy. That'd be, you know how sick that would be?
Yeah, but then there'd be no comedians in it. Like we need to be a bit fucked to tell jokes.
I mean, at least with like business shit, you know?
Yeah.
No one's business minded.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, not no one, but I'm saying like generally, it's lacking that business mindset. I don't know how you would even incorporate that to like no one's teaching you that shit.
Yeah, well, you just pick it up along the way. I think I made so many mistakes when I was 18. And you just learn to navigate, and you learn how to speak to people. Some promoters to be like a bit more chill with, other ones to say, "Give me my fucking money, cunt." Yeah, like I haggle with certain comics,
really?
And they'll say, "Oh, can you do this gig?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it for double the price." And they'll say, "Yeah, okay then." I'm like, "So you had the money? You're coming in with a shit offer, you know what I mean?" So, but then there's other maybe promoters that I wouldn't do that with because I think, well, if like a certain club, I think, oh, let's just keep it chill. Play the game a little bit, so to speak. So it's like, yeah, I think you just like learn as you go along. You just got to be really aware of like tone and different people. Not everyone's the same. So you got to treat people in a different way. But yeah, to get to that place, though, you make so many fucking mistakes. I've been fucked over for money. I've been, taken off gigs and been treated badly and whatever. But I think that the more years that go on, you just become a bit more like. Open to it.
Stick up for yourself. Not let people walk all over you. Because that's the problem too. Is like there are some people who are like these gatekeepers. Yeah. In the fucking comedy, and you were talking about it too, and like I've talked about this plenty of times. There's been shows I could never get on for some reason. And like, I'm fucking kind to everyone, like I think I'm funny. Like I'm not the funniest guy, but like I work hard and like, I'll show up on time and reliable. Yeah. But then they still like, nah, like,
if they don't like you, that's it.
I'm like, well, why? Like, are you guys retarded?
Yeah.
Like, do you not realize how much value you can add if you just like were more open to different types of comedians coming through? It helps your business. You're obviously not business minded if you're closed off to all these other comedians. Because like you're just like, oh, like nah, I just want to book my friends. I'm like,
the same people all the time.
To a certain extent, it's fine. Obviously, book your friends, but man, like not every single time. Yeah. And then you're sour and bitter. I'm like, no fucking wonder, because you're not growing your business.
There's only 2 clubs in London, in the whole of London, that I'm not in. And it's the same thing. I'm in all the clubs. I do the Comedy Store, like all the big clubs. I've like toured. I've done all this shit, and they just don't book me. And I'm like, the only thing that I can think is they just don't. The guy just doesn't like me for some reason, and you just need to get over it as much as it's annoying. I'm like, right, fair enough. I can make money somewhere else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember one time they messaged my agent saying, oh yeah, we'll bring her in for like a 10. And I was like 10, 11 years in at this stage. Oh yeah, get her to come in and do like this unpaid 10. And I was like, get fucked.
Unpaid?
Go fuck yourself.
At a club?
Yeah, I was like, I don't work for free. You know what I mean? I was like, are you joking? I was like, nah, man.
After 10 years, the disrespect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I said to my agent, I was like, Thames, get fucked. And she was like, in those words? I was like, those exact words. Yes. Verbatim, bruv. Fucking,
please. Yeah, verbatim.
Fuck yourself, cunt. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, you can sit, like, those times where it gets in your head and you think, what have I done? Why, but you've just got to, like, leave it, innit?
You're right, though. There's so many other gigs.
Yeah.
Right. You'll still find a way. That's the good part. But do you think, because you have an agent, you said?
Yeah.
Do you still talk to the people like directly, or your agent books stuff for you now?
A bit both. So yeah, some clubs they liaise with like with the promoters and that, and then other people like that I've built up a relationship with over years, whatever. I just deal with them because a lot of promoters, because I'm so close with them now, they'll like text me or just like message me on Facebook. Hey, you free this weekend? I'm like, yeah. So it doesn't go like formally through my agents, whereas other ones, promoters will send out like, we're booking for the summer. Who are your acts? Like, fill your acts into these dates. And they'll go, bum, and then send it back to me and say, right, you're gigging here on this date, here on this date. So, yeah, it's nice. I like that that I've still got a little bit of control. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But then they can help me out as well. And it's nice, like, if shit does go wrong with money or your fee's not been paid or something, at least they can sort it. It's not all on my shoulders, so I do definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, because same with me, like, having my brother, like, he manages and shit, like, it kind of takes you away from like the interaction. Yeah,
you don't want to be confrontational as well. You know what I mean?
That's too. It's like, man, I'm just trying to work and get shit done, and like I'm trying to help you and me. Like it's a transactional thing. We're here for each other in a way.
Yeah.
But it takes away that pressure when there's a middleman in a way, because then it's like you don't have to be the bad guy anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my favorite part about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, I just think a lot of comics don't have that. One, and two. it's like, well, it's sometimes tough. It's tough to get an agent that you trust too, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like, how do you navigate that? How do you feel? Like, how do you just choose someone that you don't know to just all of a sudden start representing you? Like, is there like a certain thing you look for, or?
I don't know how to say this without sounding arrogant, but I've always had an agent. I've never ever asked for an agent in the 14 years I've been doing stand up.
Nice.
They've always come to me. So, and I've had quite a few. I'm an agent whore. Yeah, I've had about 6 agents.
6?
Yeah.
Why?
And all sort of like parted ways for various different reasons. But yeah, they've all, every time I've had an agent and then left an agent, a new agent has literally emailed me or called me in for a meeting within a couple of weeks. I've always been snapped up real quick. So that's kind of led me to believe that, I must be good. But then it's like, my career's not really fucking progressed. So when people talk to me about agents, it's really, they're just good for like sorting out money and stuff. It's like, I think people think having an agent is going to like change everything. And it's not, because ultimately you've still got to write the jokes. You've got to go to the gigs. You've got to do all of that business, you know. They're a good support system. But yeah, other than that, it's but yeah, the one I'm with now, they were my first ever agent, and then I left them. We didn't speak for like 7 years, and then yeah, things happened, and we kind of came back round, and then I'm with them again. So they know me very well. They've known me since I was like 19, 20. So like the bird that looks after me, she sort of views me as like a sister. So it's a really good vibe now. Like we're both older and mature, and like I know what I want within the industry and stuff, so I'm easier to work with. So yeah, so I'm really happy now. I think I'll be with them for the rest of my career. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's what you want. That's like the ideal scenario.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, getting with a partner, innit? You have to go through a few to think, oh yeah, I like this one, I'm going to stay with this one. That's how it's been with agents. Like, yeah, I've had good ones, bad ones, fucking, yeah.
Yeah, shite ones, you know.
Yeah.
I get it, yeah.
But it's good now. I'm in a good place now.
That's great, honestly. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that, because like I know a lot of people they just constantly get fucked over, or they just end up never finding a good one. And it becomes too late, and like they spiral.
I don't think you should ever ask for representation. I think that is just a bad look, man.
I know.
Just let them come to you, let the talent talk, and eventually someone will come up to you and be like, hey, here's my card. If you, you know, I work for this agency, I'd love to have a meeting. But that's the way it should always be. Never, people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to write like for representation, I'm going to email. I'm like, cringe. It's beggy, bruv. It's beggy. Like, you just let them come to you.
Right. It's not calm, bruv. It's not calm.
It's not calm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. You're into psychology. And you because it's funny because you were mentioning how teenagers and younger people don't really typically like your comedy as much, but you said you want to do psychology because you think you're good with kids, right? And you want to work with kids and all that stuff. What made you want to go into that?
Well, I am interested in psychology, yeah. But it's just to stay in the country, really. Yeah. It's just to get a longer visa in it until me and my geezer can get a partner visa. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. But you know, also it's nice to have a backup plan. You know, I want to have kids, I want to have a family and shit. And Australia doesn't pay as much as the UK, and you know, just be better to have like something else on the side that I can do that's like a nice stream of income. And yeah. Very boring answer, but that's the truth, man. Yeah. But I'm trying to be an adult here.
No, you're good. Would you think you'd ever like do something in that field, like in terms of like working in that field?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely want to work with like really young children and stuff, and incorporate comedy and poetry and like art into their healing. Because I think it's a really good way to self-express. So for kids going through some traumatic shit and they're struggling to speak, if you do it through a different medium, sometimes that can make them relaxed and, you know, give them confidence. And I want to try and change the psychology world in a way that incorporates who I am and shit. You know what I mean? It'd be great to like really achieve some cool things in that field. But who knows? It's a long way away yet. You know what I mean? So 5-year plan, innit?
So that's a 5-year plan that you thought about?
Yeah.
That's sick. And do you have did you want to do it like more private, one-on-one, or it's like kind of like a group thing with like kids?
Yeah, one-on-one maybe. Yeah. I just don't know. It's so early on in the journey, innit? I don't know what it'd be like, but I think there's so many different avenues you could go down and incorporate in all the artistic stuff. So yeah, I'll just see how the journey pans out, innit, and see what happens.
And is it because like you feel like maybe like you didn't have that when you were a kid? Like it's like you wish you had someone who was kind of helping you with this kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
In the way that you want to do
it?
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, like I was going through some stuff. Wait, I'm going to see.
Yeah. Bam.
Jeez. Silent
what the fuck? That was a sneeze?
I am a silent sneezer, innit? Yeah. I'm sorry. I admit. But I tell you what, though, I hate fucking people. And it's always geezers, that do a sneeze and like, I'm like, is that necessary? Is that really necessary, man?
It's pretty necessary.
It's like all your demons coming out your nose. All the lies and deceit.
All that toxic masculinity coming out.
Fucking hell. What are you trying to prove, bro? You know what I mean?
You were you cheating on me?
Yeah,
what was that sneeze?
See, I'm discreet. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was saying now. I went through some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And, I wish that people sort of like... encouraged my artistic side. I was really good at painting. I was really good at art and stuff. Poetry. I remember finding poems I was writing when I was like 7, 8 years old. And obviously the dog shit. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm still trying to do, I used to write short stories. I used to write like sitcoms and stuff. Like all the time I was into acting. I used to film little videos. I remember when I first got my first camera phone and I would like film videos. I was always doing like sketches, things like that.
So you can crush the content game.
Yeah, I mean, fucking hell, back then. But like, like no one really encouraged it or supported it, and I think they missed a trick. And I think maybe like I'm getting it now, but I'm like 32, you know. And I think if you really encourage a child and give them a lot of confidence, and you know they believe that they're good at something, and you show them, hey, this is really good, and they can find a community, and it definitely shapes the rest of your life in a more positive way.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so many fucked adults out there, and the mental health sector is so understaffed. Let's get to the root of the problem first. You know, prevention's better than cure, as they say.
Facts.
So I want to be part of the solution before we get fucked up adults that are out here killing people or getting in relationships and ruining people and cheating and, you know, doing crime and not living to their potential, man. I love seeing people just really live into their true potential. So if I could help in some way, that would be sick. Yeah.
Very wholesome. Wholesome vibes.
Yeah.
No, that's great, honestly. Because, well, it's also, I feel like, you know, not that, you know, it's like you're qualified in a way to talk about these things and to want to do it because of, you know, like you said, it's like it's kind of is your experience because it's almost like, or a lack of experience. I feel like you are qualified to do these things for like the future generation, which is important because it starts with somewhere. Starts with somebody.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, man.
So it's great that you want, and then the fact that you want to incorporate the music and poetry and stuff like that. I think it's like an interesting new take I've never seen done before too. And because that's the thing too, like, no one really, like I said, a lot of people growing up generally they don't really push the arts as much. But like, you don't understand. There's probably so many people out there who never took that risk. Or know how to do it, or you know, follow their passion with arts, but because no one's even like teaching it in a way, and so I think that's super valuable that you want to do that. In terms of like teaching them with music and poetry, like how would you do that? Have you thought about?
Oh, I've no idea. Yeah, I've no idea yet. But I've run a few like workshops in youth clubs and that, and you just get them to write like a rap or a song or a poem or whatever, and like.
Nice.
Get to know them through that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through sort of, like, a kid's never going to respond in a good way for sitting down, like, right, so show me where your dad touched you, or, you know what I mean? They're going to close up and, you know, but if you can, it can come through in other little ways, or, you know, it can just start the ball rolling on a conversation. So, yeah, I've no idea yet. It's very early on, innit? And I'm saying all this, if my career blows up in them time, fuck those kids, innit? I'm going on tour and I'm doing a Netflix special.
Man, fuck them kids, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in it. So it's a nice plan and it's keeping me focused and shit. And I want to start talking about it a little bit on stage and trying to make it funny and that. But yeah, I will still be doing stand up like alongside it in it. So I just don't know what the future holds. There's a lot of uncertainty at the minute, but I'm trying to find the excitement in it, you know, and be like, oh, well, this is cool. Like, so you could be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm like, oh, cool, I don't know what's going to happen.
In a way, that's good though.
Yeah.
I think your head's in the right space because you're open to, you know, new things coming, and naturally, that's in a way manifestation. I know it's very basic of me, but basic Bianca of me, you know.
Yeah.
You said like fucking manifest, you know. But yeah, because like seriously though, like, you know, manifesting with like, but also being proactive and taking action.
Yeah.
It's like a solid combination. So whatever you think you want, that you want to come, it's coming. You know, it's just about, you know, having that mindset going forward. In terms of music though, you said, you know, you're into music obviously. What's your favorite part about like performing music specifically?
Just the way I feel on stage, I think. Like, it actually gives me such a buzz. And yeah, especially because I did a show in London. I did 3 nights at the Soho Theatre, right? And I had my band on stage with me, and I was doing like a poetry comedy mix, and it was fucking sick. Like, I could just see the audience like loving it, the switch up from like the jokes and then going into a song and then coming back out. Like, it was just banging, man. And yeah, I'm still so new to it, innit? But so I'm learning how to like move and how to be more confident, like performing it and shit. But no, I think it's great. Well,
I thought the fact that you've been doing comedy for so long, already like your stage presence is there.
Yeah, exactly.
You have no problems.
Yeah.
And is it a different feeling than doing stand up?
Yeah, I feel a lot more free. Definitely.
More free.
Yeah.
How so?
I feel like it's more me. I don't know. I feel like, because I always used to say like in interviews, like comedy is my heart, but like poetry and music's my soul. And that is what's coming out. And I don't think I'm a natural comedian. I never wanted to be a comedian. I don't think that's where I'm going to get the majority of my success. I think it's a stepping stone to other things, maybe acting or poetry or something, or, you know. I've never claimed to like be a sick comedian, and, you know, so I've always felt, even though like I do well at gigs and that, I think I'm a very competent comic. I think I feel quite awkward still when I'm on stage, and
really?
I love it when I'm up there, but I'm very happy to get off. Once the gig's over, I'm always like fuck for that, you know what I mean? whereas when I'm doing like music, I never want to leave the stage, and that's the difference. I'm like, I love this. I could be up here forever, you know, savoring every moment. Like, it's I'm very present when I'm doing music, and in comedy, I'm like, you know, I'm thinking of the next joke. I'm having to be aware, like, oh, what's this guy saying? Oh, heckling at the back. You know, you're like, I'm never like, I'm always
relaxed.
I'm on edge. I'm thinking, is that my time? Thank fuck. See, like, you know what I mean? So that's the biggest difference, I think.
Yeah, well, also with music, it's more universal.
100%. Yeah.
So you can touch anybody.
Yeah,
you're getting people that you normally wouldn't get with your comedy.
Yeah. And I'll speak fast as well. So if there's foreigners in the audience, sometimes a lot of my jokes, they don't get them. You know, they go over their heads and stuff. Yeah. But like you said, yeah, music, everyone understands that, innit?
Yeah, everyone feels the tones and the vibes, you know?
The vibes.
Yeah, it's just like really, you feel it, you know? So dumb.
Did you bring the wig? Is the wig here?
It is, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's in my closet.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I got a few wigs too.
If you ever bring a girl back, she's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this, man?" Be like, "Oh no, I do sketches."
Yeah,
she's like,
I swear. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm out with this bitch. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of long, isn't it?
Some cross-dressing motherfucker. Oh, I love it.
I guess in terms of you know, you're talking about 5-year plan with psychology and all that stuff, but what's your like 5-year, 10-year plan with music or comedy, other things? You know, you have
I'm just letting the music play out. I'm still experimenting with that sort of stuff. I've got a producer in Melbourne and a producer in Perth and London, so I'm constantly making stuff and coming up with ideas. Comedy, I'm just doing spots and that, trying to just establish myself a lot in Australia, because I'm predominantly living here now. And then
with the geezer,
with my geezer, and I'm hoping to do an hour next year and then start like touring that or doing that at the festivals, because I've not done another hour for like 3 years now, innit? So it'd be nice to get stuck into doing something a bit more long form. And that's it really, yeah. And then just keeping the studies going. But yeah, in terms of comedy, I had more like plans in London, because there was different things that you could hit and different venues I wanted to fill, or TV. Australia, there's not many opportunities in it, so it's hard to have a plan of like, oh, I want to get this, I want to do that. Especially being British, they love their own. They don't really. I think most opportunities would go to other Aussies before me. So yeah, I'm just doing life shit at the minute. I think that's my life plan. I'm, you know, being a bit of an adult. You know, I grew up in the music and I've grown up in the entertainment industry since I was 18, and my whole life's been comedy, innit? Being on the road, traveling, touring, and I'm really enjoying just slowing down a little bit and just enjoying the gigs that I'm doing, being in a relationship. You know, I want to have a family, doing my studies, and then like what comes of it will come of it. But by the time like I do an hour or like, you know, in 5 years time, if stuff has happened, I'll have more to talk about, innit? Because I'm running out of shit to say, and I'm not a political comedian, innit? So it's like, you need to live life to have the jokes. So it's like, okay, let me just live my life for a little bit, innit? Like, the biggest thing I found, like, when I was younger is I was always rushed. You have to do this, you got to do this, you got to go to Edinburgh, you need to write another hour, you need blah, blah, blah. And the older I got, and speaking to other artists, it's like, I don't have to do anything, innit? You can't rush art. Like, the best art takes time. Like, Kendrick Lamar writes an album, 5 years later writes another album. It's like, he's not writing an album every year. You need to take time to like refine it and make it excellent. I don't want to just do mediocre shit, average shit. I want to be excellent. And excellence takes time. And you can't fucking rush me. And I refuse to be rushed. At 32, you cannot rush this shit.
Yeah.
Like someone said, oh, you got to do an hour. I said, mate, yeah. I'll start writing an hour. If it's not ready by next year, it'll be 2026. It will be ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
But when it comes, it's going to be fucking great, you know?
Fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's changed, it's relaxed me a lot because I used to be really neurotic, really stressed all the time. Like, comedy used to do my fucking nut in because I constantly, people telling me, you should be doing this, you need to do that. Like, run. I spent my whole 20s thinking I was running out of time. And it's like, mate, I'm young, I've got my whole world ahead of me, and now I'm not 32. I'm like, let's just chill, yeah? So that'd be my advice to you as well. Like, just fucking don't let anyone tell you to rush, or you're on your own timeline, innit? And things will happen when they happen. Like,
yeah, no, you're speaking two languages, English and facts.
Yeah.
You know? No, I agree.
Straight facts.
Straight fucks, innit? But no, one thing about the excellence too is like, you know, I think there's a thing I always kind of go by is like, people are like, oh, practice makes perfect, but I think practice makes progress and practice makes excellence.
Yes.
Right? I believe in that shit, you know? And it's just about sticking to it.
It's consistency, man.
It's literally, that's the only way you're going to get excellent, right? There's no other way. But then that's the thing, you don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But when you get to a point, as long as you just let it happen, when you know, and that's when you'll be ready. But in terms of letting, being more chill and living your life a little bit and doing life shit, I think that's even more important for comedy, because like you said, like you need to have something to talk about. And another thing we talk about sometimes, there's a quote by somebody, I don't know who, but it's like, you have to be interesting in order to lead an interesting life. Or I think it's butchering, but anyway, something like that, right? It's like you gotta fucking do shit. So, but a lot of comedians, I feel like, if you notice a lot of people who tour a lot, and I've heard this on Rogan's podcast where there's a comedian talk about like the comedians who tour all the time, their jokes start becoming about airports, planes, and Uber rides and hotels. Yeah. And I'm like, well, dude, like at some point, like the work has to, you know, can't get in the way because now it's just counterproductive.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great trajectory to do, and I think it's good advice too. To kind of sometimes like it is okay to slow down a little bit. Yeah. But then in the long run, it'll actually help you fucking tenfold.
Oh, definitely, because it's like you don't want to be a one-hit wonder or like, you know, be gone in a flash. Like when you get to the top, you want to stay there. It's about longevity. So, and you're only going to have longevity when you've got a back catalogue of like sitcom ideas, multiple hours, you've got sketches, you can do this, you've built up different skills, you can play musical instruments, you do this, you know, they say the jack of all trades and all that shit. It's definitely beneficial in the long run. And I've seen it happen to friends of mine that have blown up and they've been sitting on all these different projects. It's like back. And that's because they've taken their time and they've built up their portfolio and shit and lived their life, and you know, and you're good to go. Like I want to be, if I like make it in terms of being like a big star, I'd want to be there forever. I want to be in conversations and people talking about me forever. I don't want to be there for like 5 minutes and then disappear and they're like, oh, who's that girl? Did she used to do comedy? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? I'd rather just never make it and kind of slip out and be like, yeah, that was cool. That was a fun, like the Homer Simpson going through the bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I wasn't here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's because I've seen that happen as well, and that really fucks with your head, man. Like when you do have a little taste of fame and then you lose it. It's you never really get over that, and I sometimes think that's more detrimental to your mental health and your career than never making it. You know, having it taken away from you. So yeah, I just want to like keep my mental health intact, live my life so I'm not sacrificing anything, and then just have like building up loads of stuff, and then if opportunity knocks at my door and is like, hey, we're ready for you now, I'm like, sick. So am I.
Say less.
Yeah, say less.
No, I agree. And another thing to add on to that is like same idea with content and stuff like that online, which a lot of people struggle with, I think. But for us, it's like I actually would much prefer not blow up right away. Yeah. Especially at the level I am at now, because like, especially if with doing stand up at the same time, you don't want your content to be further ahead than your stand up career. Because then now people have this expectation. If you have 4 million followers, but you're like 100K follower stand up level.
Yeah.
It's not going to translate.
You don't think you've blown up already though?
A little bit, but like not that big. I think it's gone like progressively at a slow but good pace.
Yeah.
I think I'm like matching the level. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like
good numbers though, bro.
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's just like I'd much rather be where I'm at right now with like a few 100,000 than like 4 million.
Yeah,
and then it's like a lot of pressure. It's like Matt Rife effect. It's like this guy blew up over like not overnight, but like in like 1 year he's gone up like 20 million followers. Like that's insane.
That's crazy.
And now it's like the fact you have to now tour the world. What if you're not ready? Like what if you only have like an hour of material or whatever it is? It's like you're just not ready for that. And I personally think like the more experience you have in life, like I'm only 8 years in. It's like I would want that to happen when I'm 16 years in, because then I'm like, bro, I have all this backlog.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm ready for this shit. I'm ready to go. And same thing with the content. It's like a video blows up online. Let's say, like let's say it has 10 million views. It's a good video. People come to your page and they look at the rest of your feed and there's only like 7 videos, you don't have much catalog, the chances of people following you based off this one video are very slim. Because they're like, oh, well, he doesn't have anything else, fuck it. But that same video blows up and then they go on your page and you have 3,000 posts. They're like, oh shit, he has more? Boom, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's that kind of effect.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. It's.
So how often do you post every day?
Yeah.
A video, a sketch, or like
like just a micro piece of content. Yeah. But,
mad.
And like you add things here and there, like weekly podcasts or fucking vlog. When it's ready. You
think that's the key then? Consistency in terms of posting every day.
Yeah, like I said, I talk about this all the time. It's like not every video is going to be a hit, just like every set's not going to be a hit. But you can't let it define you as who you are. But it's just all part of the story of like adding to your experience. Yeah. It's like you're just building more reps. That's all it is. It's reps. Same with stage, right? It's like the more you get up, the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get. The more in the flow you find your voice more. And I think like nothing beats that. You can't fake it.
Yeah.
Like you can't fake the reps. So I think that's the idea for sure. But most videos don't blow up for me. It's like once in a while. Really? But over time, if you add everything together, it's like a constant, like slow rise. Yeah. Which is, I feel like it adds more longevity and more of a stronger base, stronger foundation, which I think is more important. Because it's like it's like having a non-sturdy chair. It's like if the bottom is like fucking wobbly, and then it's like all the shit at the top, it's gonna fucking topple over. But if you have like a fucking firm base and it's like bigger at the bottom than the top, it's never gonna fall over. It's kind of like that vibe. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I like that's a bad example, but
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, you need a strong foundation for sure.
So I don't know. Yeah, those are my thoughts on that stuff. But I guess that's pretty much it.
How are we gonna end it?
We're gonna end it right now.
Yeah.
With you plugging your socials.
Plugging my socials. All right. So really the only one is Instagram. So I'm on Instagram at scallaghan1. That's SCALLAGHAN and the number 1. Follow me in it.
Don't be long.
Don't be long in it and give me a follow, you cunt.
Bollocks, fam. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming and having this conversation.
Thanks, man.
I always love the deep chats. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, and we'll talk soon. Bosh.